Hi, on the screen now, this is a board which is also a motor driver board which is named as L298N. So what it does, it actually controls two motors uh, at once. So one L298N can control two motors at same time. So there are many parts in this. So let us know how it works and what are these parts are used for. So first, what is this board used for? So basically, this board is like a translator between a brain, which is Arduino or Raspberry Pi or ESP32 or any other computers, and motors are like muscles. So this board will be like it act like a translator between brain and muscles, which is computer and motors. A microcontroller is weak. What is microcontroller? Microcontroller means the Arduino or any other board. So that is weak. It cannot rotate the motors all by itself. And motors need more power. So that is where this board comes in. So it will, produce those powers and give to motor. And this board helps control motors safely. So how does it do, and what are these, how these components are used and how it works? So let us learn it now. So when we see um, on the bottom here, we have some most important parts. So let's start with 12 volts. 12 volts, this junction, what it does is we will connect a wire from motor to this 12 volt, from a battery or adapter to this 12 volts, and this gives power to the motors. So the current will be inserted from here and it will be giving the power for the motors to rotate. And usually it is not only 12 volts, usually it is between 6 volts to 12 volts. So in between this we can um, insert the power. So moving forward, GND. GND is also known as ground. So ground is a full form of GND. So ground is actually negative. So all the electronics must share this. So when there is a positive input, there must be an negative, right? So this works as that. And moving forward, we have 5 volts here. And what it does, the power of the board's logic. So this is the power, the board itself can come from the board itself if jumper is on, or Arduino, or if the jumper is off. So this is how it works. So it is basically controlling the jumper. So here there is a part which is known as jumper, the yellow color marked. So what is jumper? Jumper is really important. So if jumper is on, board makes it uh, own 5 volts. So you need not give any external powers for this one. So when this is on, it will create its own 5 volts. And and Arduino does not give need to give 5 volts also. Not only Arduino, any other board which you have connected. And when the jumper is off, the computer or the Arduino must give the 5 volts to the board. So if this is on, then you need not give, it can make all by itself. If this is off, then you must um, give the current. So as we are beginners, it is better to keep this junction always on. So next, moving forward to these pins. So like every other board, we have controlling pins for this L298N also. So what it does, so first is enable A. Enable A turns motor A. So as we said, there are two motors which can be connected. So motor 1 and motor 2. So now we will say that motor A and motor B. So enable A, what it does is it turns on or off the motor A and controls speed using PWM. Okay. So next, moving forward to inputs. So there are usually four inputs in this one. So what does input 1 and 2 does? So input 1 controls the direction of motor A. Example, in A, one motor will be high and motor 2 will be low. So it will turn forward. So this is how you'll be controlling it. And next, moving forward to enable B, what it does is enable B turns off or on motor B, as this will turn on motor A and off motor A. This enable B will be turning on and off the motor B. And for enable B, we have two inputs, which is input 3 and input 4. And on the board, it will be written as IN3 and IN4, IN1, IN2, which means input. So what it does, it controls direction and speed of motor B. Okay, so this is how these all pins work. So next we have motor connectors. So here in motor A and motor B, the blue part here, like out 1, out 2 and out 4 and out 3. So this is where you will be connecting the motors. Motors means wheels or robotic hands or anything. So motor A in output 1 and output 2, out 1 and out 2, it will connect the first motor here in these two, and in out 3 and out 4 will connect the second motor here. So you can control two motors with this board. Okay, so this is how these connectors will be working. So it is finished about the connectors. So now there is lots and lots of things here left out to be known, right? So moving to this black big chip here in the middle, what it does is this is actually the L298N chip. This is like a heart for this board. Okay, so what it does is this does very hard work. It handles high current and changes motor directions, and it will protect the Arduino. So without this, the board is nothing. So this is the important part because it will handle high current and it will protect Arduino or any board which you have connected, and handles the changes motor directions, etc. And the big silver cylinders here. So what it does is these two cylinders are capacitors. What is capacitor? They reduce noise, protect the circuit, and make motor run smoother. So without this, it will create lots of noise, and the motors will not run smoother because there will be unevenness of current. Okay, so and the circuit is also not protected without these two cylinders. And the small black parts here on the left and on the right, these are actually diodes. What are diodes? Diodes are the thing which will protect the board from motor damage. Motors, because motors, what happens is it will send bad electricity. So when you're sending the bad electricity while stopping, usually motor sends bad electricity while stopping. So that time what it does is it can damage this board. The full board here can be damaged. So for that reason we'll be having diodes all over, so that it will be controlling the damages and the bad electricity, and usually it is a bodyguard for this board. Okay, so next, this is the black big colored mesh kind of thing here. What it does is it is actually a heat sink. What is heat sink? When the motor driver works, motor driver means this full board. When this works, um, it gets hot, so it gets heated usually. So too much heat can damage the chip, any chip, the Arduino, Raspberry, or L298N chip itself. So it can damage that. The heat sink takes the heat away and releases it into the air. So what it does is, it will take the heat from the motors or the chips or whatever it is, and it will release it in air. So this is how it works. So think of a little metal fan without moving parts. It is like that. Okay. Why do this look like fins here? It can be a normal board or a straight surface or plain surface here, right? So more the surface area, more air touching it. And if the more air is touching it, heat will escape faster. So the ultimately we want to escape the heat, right? So because of this design, the heat will escape faster, because more the surface area here you can see, this is more. Because of this, the air will be more air will be touching it, and it is like spreading hot food on a plate, so it gets cooler fast, right? Why is this attached to it? We can keep it separately also, right? It is stuck on the top of L298N chip, because the chip does the heavy work. So rotating motors is not a easy work, right? So the Arduino or the any computer chip which you'll be using, it is like it will just say that rotate this motor at this time, rotate this motor at this time. But this L298N is the board which will be rotating. This does the hard work. So for that, it gets heated very fast, and it needs to be cooled down. So that is when this will be working. So it may become very hot, and while you're using it, you should not touch these fans. So while using it, touching this part, the when it is getting when it got heated, is like it is not safe, because it will be too hot to touch. So that time you should keep that in mind. So in very simple way, uh, let us make a summary of what is the L298N actually is. So as we know what these pins are for, and these diodes and the cylinder parts and the heart, the actual L298N chip, and the black fins here. So it controls two motors at same time. It can change speed, it can change direction, and the most importantly, it protects the Arduino, and the L298N. It needs external power to work. So if you press a button, Arduino sends a signal to input 1 and input 2, or input 3 and input 4, and board understands what to do, and motor spins forward or backward. So this is how L298N works, and that's it for today. See you in the next video, Future Robot Builders.